(2019) Genesis G70 First Drive Review, less spark, more bite. Cape Neddick, Maine, Autoblog has already driven the version of the Genesis G70 that will be sold on the automaker's home peninsula, and found it to be a compelling alternative to the likes of the BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, and Mercedes-Benz C-Class. I got my first crack at the car in its North American production form this month in the southeastern hills of Maine. That means this version has been tuned for a country with fewer speed bumps and more enthusiast drivers, and provides an opportunity to dig a little deeper into what the G70 means for the brand at home and abroad. For the US, we get a pair of powerplant options in the G70, both using turbocharging and direct injection. The budget option is a 2.0-liter inline-four good for 252 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque when paired to the 8-speed automatic. The rear-drive i4 is also available with a 6-speed manual transmission, and equipped as such, it offers a few extra horsepower for a total of 255. The performance option is a twin-turbocharged 3.3-liter V6, paired solely to an 8-speed auto, providing 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque, the latter offered from low in the rev range. It can propel the car from 0-60 miles per hour in a swift 4.5 seconds when using launch control. I spent most of my time in rear-wheel drive versions, but the all-wheel drive car can also shift up to 100% of its power to the rear wheels under the right conditions when set in sport mode with stability control off. On the road, this thing is a shark. Quiet and bitey, able to cruise comfortably, ready to burst into action with a twist of the drive mode knob. I was really impressed with the calm, quiet ride it provided. That said, if you're looking for a roary sports car that'll snarl and pop its way down the road, the G70 isn't the car for you. It's a nearly silent assassin, trading oral gratification for a sense of sheer sleekness. In recent months and years, I had nearly given up on paddle shifters. I just don't find them to be particularly engaging, so I was somewhat pleased to hear that Genesis would offer a 6-speed manual in the G70. If only as a token gesture in the 2.0T. On a long downhill grade in the 3.3T, though, I use the paddles for engine braking, and then I couldn't stop. These shifters are a genuine pleasure to use, offering a quick dopamine hit with such a quick response to a flick of a finger behind the steering wheel. The G70 offers a rare setup in which the paddles actually do provide a bona fide feeling of connection with the car. As nice as it is to drive, though, the G70 is just as wonderful to behold. Hyundai and Genesis design boss Luke Donkerwelk's vision of a balance of structure and audacity is executed beautifully. The design is gorgeous inside and out, and everything that grabs the attention of your eye or fingertip is nothing short of high quality. The look is very deliberate, it's all very fresh and even a bit gallant, but there's no flash for the sake of flash. In fact, there's a sense of simplicity when you view the interior or exterior from afar. Under close scrutiny, though, you can't help see the enormous attention to detail, from the copper-colored elements in the lighting to the way the stitching avoids the perforation of the leather to the smooth animation of the door jar graphics on the instrument panel as you close the door. The drive took me to Club Motorsports, a new, private track facility built into the side of a mountain in New Hampshire. It's a big, swoopy track with huge elevation changes. There I was able to suss out the car's strengths, and its limits. On the big, 2.5-mile, 15-turn road course, with 250 feet of elevation change, I hopped into a rear-drive 3.3T for a handful of lead-follow laps. With traction control dialed back, but not completely disabled, the G70 behaved predictably and forgivingly. Pushing it through a long corner, giving it a bit more throttle helped to kick the rear out and point the nose in. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4 rubber made a lot of noise pretty much the entire time, but did well to communicate and dole out grip and spin appropriately. I learned quickly that with the G70, it pays to be judicious with the throttle. It's easy to dig a little too deeply, in fact, it's hard not to. If smoothness is the key to consistently fast laps, you have to learn not to hammer on this thing on your way past the apex, or risk strain from your line. When I finally learned to be properly light on the throttle on exit, I found the car to flow nicely around this swoopy track. In the AWD version, on the same circuit, I found the G70 3.3G able to pull itself around the corners with a bit more ease, but it was less forgiving, tending toward understeer when cooking a corner a little too hot, not particularly unexpected, but a notable difference from the car I had just been in. More often than in the RWD version, I had to shed speed to bring it back in line. One thing that kept surprising us was just how quiet this car is. Standing next to the long straight at the start-finish line of the track, a section where the car is passing 100 miles per hour under full throttle, I'd watch these cars swoop by again and again, and I never heard them coming. There was only a mere shoop as each G70 sliced its way through the atmosphere feet from where I stood. It's almost uncanny, as I'm told these G70s are even noisier than the version offered in Korea. From inside, the groaning of the tires clawing for grip dominated the soundtrack.